Hi, hello, good evening. It's very late actually, it's about 11:15 in the evening on a Friday. I've no idea what date it is, yeah. But it's Friday anyway. Since I left work, I don't keep tabs on dates and times and things like that unless I have an appointment, at the hospital or something that I've got to remember. It's been very quiet this week. I've just had Gigi. No dogs, no family, no nobody, just been me and my new pillow friend. Thanks for the suggestion. I called him Mr. Squarehead. But he doesn't have a name. But he's very comfy. I will tell you that, he's very comfy. Just pull my top down, it has a tendency to creep up. For those of you who said I look nice in pink, well, I'm wearing pink. Well, I'm green, of course. I'm green. But it has to be velvet. I'm not actually sure this is velvet. I think actually it's more of a velour. But it hasn't got velvet sleeves anyway. And I'm wearing my armband because I've just been crocheting. Well, how am I getting on? I was getting on really, really well with my top. My granny square jacket top. Let me show you the picture again. Until I ran out of yarn. It's actually taking a lot more yarn than I thought it would do. Here we go again. Now I still haven't put the mirror behind the camera, so I've no idea if you're seeing it or if you're not. But that's what I'm making. It's a paid for pattern. It's called Granny Takes a Trip. And it's by Elaine Warren, I think. Yeah, Elaine Warren. But if you look up Granny Takes a Trip, I bought mine off Ravelry. But I'm not doing such big sleeves. I hope you can see it. I never know to tilt it backwards or tilt it forwards. As I said, I haven't got round to putting the mirror there. To be honest, I've got nothing to stand a mirror on, and I don't have one of those full-length mirrors, on a swivel or anything like that. I'm not that posh. Anyway, that's what I'm making. But I ran out of yarn. As you know, I'm doing it in the boho Signet Spirit. Anyway, it came... Signet Boho Spirit, yeah. It came this afternoon, actually. Not this morning, tell a lie. Came this afternoon in the post, so I've been able to start again. I've now got to 40 something squares, I think. That's another pattern that I bought the other day, but only 2 of them are crochet. The main one's crochet and the one at the top is crochet. These 2 are knitted ones. So I'm slightly disappointed because it was like, it didn't say a knit and crochet pattern, it just said it was a crochet pattern. And you can't always tell on eBay whether or not it's knit or crochet, because even when you zoom it doesn't go that far. Anyway, what am I messing with this for? I don't know. Anyway, my squares are all coming out differently. I mean, they're not coming out evenly like they would if I was breaking off, colours. Because like you're getting a half a row of one colour. I mean, some of them it shows up worse than others, like that one. But I'm sure it'll look okay when it's all done and dusted. That one has actually come out more evenly than the others. I'm not showing you all 40 something of them, but they're all different. Every one of them's different. And you get the ones that have got like the bits of purple in them. And that's a nice one. That's got the purples and the greens. You see, that's an odd looking one because it's just got a little bit of green sticking up. But I'm determined not to try to do matchy-matchy. I'm determined to try and just do it as it comes. I could. The last one I did it in all different shades of purples and pinks with the black edging. But there was literally thousands of ends to sew in. And I thought, no, I'm not doing it this time. I'm not doing it. It's for me anyway. But it is taking a lot more yarn than I thought it would do. So there definitely won't be any on me Etsy shop. Well, not in that yarn anyway. There might be some if I can find something cheaper. you know, for the centre bits. But no, I mean, I will pay it for myself, but there's no way I can pay it and then add anything on for crocheting it. I mean, if anybody really wants one and they want me to give them a quote, and they promise not to faint at the other end when I give them a quote, then I am open to suggestions. But wait while I finish this one. Do you know, it must be cold in here. I didn't make that coffee long ago and it's already gone cold. Well, I've just bought, I haven't got it yet, but I've just bought another bag from this lady. This is Rick Rack Designs. I messaged her on Etsy and asked her, did she do any bigger ones? So she has made me a bigger one. So I'm looking forward to that one arriving. It's purple, I think, with pink flamingos on it. So, yeah, I love these bags, but they're not really big enough, you know, for me. With all my projects. My house is still disintegrated. I haven't got around to cleaning it yet. Did I tell you the coat rack fell off the wall? I think I did, didn't I? And then I found this in the in the pantry where the coat rack fell down. I'd forgotten I'd made this, actually. I made it forever ago. Sue gave me the yarn. It was all chenilles. So that's one of my... I might make another one of this, but not in chenille. It's a big one. It's a huge one. To be honest with you, I've had it over my knees tonight because the central heating's on its normal setting, but it's really cold outside tonight. And I kept hearing these funny noises and I wondered what it was, and it's the rain striking the windows. So it is quite chilly out there. Tomorrow, this is why I'm doing my video tonight, because I wasn't sure what I'd be doing tomorrow. I think I need at some stage to get some food in. You know, the essentials you need, like bread and milk and stuff. And something for me dinner would be helpful as well, wouldn't it? Yeah. Sunday I'm actually going out with my niece for some lunch and that, and she's going to be doing my hair again. Turning me back into a blonde. I could say a blonde bombshell, but then I could be lying. Yeah, anyway, it's going to be very short, I think, today, because there's not an awful lot I've got to say to anybody. Usually I've got quite a few thoughts, you know, going through my head when I'm thinking, I'm going to make a video, I'm going to make a video. But the only thoughts I had running through my head today was I'm going to show you some of my squares, you know, for... The hardest bit is going to be the placement. What I usually do is I get my blocking board and then you've got your two fronts obviously, and then your back, and then sleeves. Sleeves I'm not too worried about. I prefer to put the nicer squares, if you know what I mean, on the back and the fronts and things. But I usually have all my blocking boards out, all of them out, and like one sleeve, front, back, you know, and pin them all out, and then I spend ages then, no, that doesn't go with that, swap it over. No, swap it over. So it takes me so long to get the actual placement right, because I don't like having like two green ones together or two purpley ones together with pink. You know, I try to spread them out a bit so I get blue next to purple and then a green in there somewhere. And you think you've done it right, and then you look and you think, no, I've got two green together there, or two blue together over there. It's kind of impossible because the ratio, the way that the squares have come out, there's more of certain colours than there is of others. You think they would come out fairly evenly, but they kind of don't, you know. But I'm sure we'll be right on the night. I would love to make one though, in all different shades, but I just don't know whether I'm ready for all those ends to stitch in at the moment. But every time I hold my squares up, everybody always goes, oh, you're making a blanket? And I'm like, no. Blankets and Afghans are not in my repertoire, I'm afraid. They don't fill me with joy. I know that lots of people make loads and loads of Afghans, and that's what they make all the time, but they're just not me, you know. I couldn't sit and I mean, I've got to do 76 of these squares. I've done about 40 something, maybe coming up to 50 of these squares. So I've broken the back of it, haven't I? But I just wouldn't have the same enthusiasm if I knew it was turning into an Afghan. Or a blanket, as we call them here. I've done baby ones, I don't mind them. You're only doing about 24 squares, aren't you, with a baby? But it's the ends. I know you can crochet over them and you can weave them in as you're going along, but I still get little bits that poke out if I do that. They just poke out. You're crocheting over them and that, but there's always that little bit left over, isn't there, that just pokes out. And I've tried snipping it off and then it pokes out somewhere else. Yeah. I would like to make one of those scrap blankets though, but I think I would leave all the knots tied in. You know, to make it sort of textured. And you know, Karen Kazalistic, Karen Hales, is making one, but she's saying she's going to darn all the ends in on this blanket. It's looking really nice, by the way, a scrap blanket. But I think I would just knot them really securely and then just leave them. And hope they don't fall apart in the wash and the wear. I thought about doing a jacket that way. I'd seen one done. I think Jen Cherry did one. I know she definitely did a shawl that way, leaving all the ends knotted in. I think I would like, because I am a bit sort of weird, as you know, with what I wear. Yeah, I think I would. I would even like a jacket done in all like scrap gown colours. Believe me, I've got lots of scraps to do my scrap gown with when I get round to it. I mean, people have suggested that I donate it, but I have paid good money for that. I mean, I know it sounds mean and awful. I will give some to charity, and I will give some to people who are doing for charity, but my stash has cost me an awful lot of money. So I do prefer to get some use out of it, if you know what I'm saying. It's like if I buy 14 pairs of shoes, isn't it? And people say, you've got so many shoes, why don't you donate some? And I'm like, no, I like all my shoes. I used to like shoes. They used to call me Imelda Marcos, if you know who she is. They used to pull my leg when I was working, saying I had a pair of shoes to match everything I owned. And I practically nearly did. You know, I used to wear high heels. It was before my back troubles. And I had blue, red, green, pink, you name it, I had them. Shoes to match every occasion. They were everywhere. I had shoes, and more shoes. But now, of course, I have to wear very practical flat shoes. I don't have the same interest in shoes anymore. I love boots, though. I must admit, I do love a pair of boots. I have got a few boots in different colours. I've got purple ones, red ones. I wanted a pair of green ones, but I didn't get them. You know, when you bid on things, they go too dear. Didn't get the green ones. But I got red and purple. I've got black, I've got brown, I've got beige. And of course I've got my fantastic Doc Martens with the roses embroidered up the side, which I love. I don't know why they make me feel so special when I've got them on, yeah. But when I get my Doc Martens on and my velvet skirt with my flouncy underskirt underneath it, I'm sort of more in a gothic mood or more of a Victoriana mood when I'm wearing something like that. And I just love, you know, I think I would have loved to have been in that era where they had all these big petticoats and, you know, the big dresses and stuff. But then again, I wouldn't have been because they didn't bathe very often, did they? They didn't wash their clothes very often, so I don't think I would on second thoughts. I'll just be a reincarnation, yeah. But I'm still looking for another jacket for Sue. She was so envious of the one I bought me, but it would have been too big for her anyway. But unfortunately, I paid a bit too much for it to give it to her. In any case, like I said, she's a lot smaller than me, so it would have been too big for her anyway. Well, it's what, about 11:30 now? I've only been on about 15 minutes. I did tell you it was going to be short and sweet today, didn't I? I still haven't found out where the basket came from. It's going to be my Valentine's basket, isn't it? Because I don't know who sent it. I'll maybe find out one day. Maybe somebody will own up to the basket one day. There was only a piece of paper inside it saying thank you for your order. So I'm just thinking that somebody's ordered it from somewhere and had it sent to me, which is very kind of them. Very, very kind of them. But I've done nothing but sneeze. Oh, I don't know, it's an allergy. Beginning of a cold or what it is. And my nose has been running like a tap, but only on one side. One eye and one nostril. And mind you, I went out the other day and it was so cold that when I came back into a shop, I felt like my eyeballs had frozen over. You know, because they were like, you know, like a windscreen when you can't see through it. And I was blinking like that and the eyes were running and everything. And it took about a few seconds it would be, it felt like minutes, for them to like clear and stop being cloudy. I thought, well, that's never happened before. I've never had frozen eyeballs before. Next time I will go out wearing my glasses. At least I can shield some of the cold off my eyes. Yeah. Oh, they rang me up from, I think I told you this, didn't I? They rang me up from the scooter place saying I can have a new scooter. So they're going to bring me some up to test out on the hill. Excuse me, I've got a hair in my lip gloss. It's still there, but never mind. Mind, I gave Gigi a kiss this morning and he finished it with lip gloss all over his hair. When his daddy came for him, I said, he's wearing pink lip gloss, I'm sorry. Do you want to wipe it out of him? Yeah, I can get a new scooter. They're going to bring me 4 or 5 to look at. And my big complaint with the one I've got is that the lights are no good. So if you go out in the evening, you can't see the curb. So you've got no idea if you're going down a little curb or a big curb. And they're not meant to go down a big curb because they've only got small wheels, so they sort of hit in the middle and they stop. And you're like marooned, you know, a bit like those adverts on the edge of a cliff where they... So, you know, it doesn't do me any good if I've got to get off my scooter and sort of like try to hoist it down the curb. Because there's never any nice people knocking around to help me when it happens to me. My son did buy me, well, I think I actually bought it, but he found it anyway in the supermarket and put it in my basket. So I actually think I did buy it myself. A light that goes on, and he's fastened it on the front of my basket. So that's much, much better. I mean, I don't go out in the dark, but I do come back sometimes when it's dusk, you know, and I like to put my lights on so that people can see me. Anyway, these new scooters, he said, oh, I'll bring you one that's got a fantastic pair of lights on it, you know, really big lights. So I thought, oh, just went and got a new light and then I don't need it now. But we'll have to wait and see. Apparently I've had my red scooter for 2 years or more. I never did give that one a name. And I can't remember what I called the other one. I'm sure somebody will remind me. It was in... I gave her a name and I put it on the video when I called it to her. Pearl, that's what she was called. She was called Pearl because that was the name of the scooter. But this scooter was a Colt, so I didn't want to go around calling it Colt. So I kept thinking about a name for it, and I was thinking of like customising it up a bit, and I never did. Anyway, it's probably as well now, isn't it? I didn't customise it or do anything to it because I'm getting a new one. This time I want to customise it. Even if it's only some flowers sewn on the front of it. Or a granny square seat cover, you know. It'll have to be like on elastic or something. And then I can take it off when it's raining, you know. Don't want to get it all wet and soggy. Because that won't be very nice when it's sitting on a granny square cover. If it's wet through. That won't be very nice. So anyway, maybe you'll see a new scooter in a couple of weeks' time. One never knows. Because they don't leave them with you. You choose one and then they go away and they customise it to you. You put your basket on or a bag on it or whatever you want, and they sort it out for you. I've still got that hair on my lip gloss. Yeah, they adjust it so that it's the right height for me and that the handles are in the right place and stuff like that. So you don't always get the one that, well, the demonstration models, aren't they, anyway? So anyway, I don't know whether I'm going to do any more crocheting now. I might have actually have an early night. I was going to have an early night last night and it finished up about 2 o'clock. But I do enjoy my new sleeping pillow. It's lovely. It's lovely. Really cosy. And it keeps you warm because it's like down one side and down the other. I don't actually sleep on my side with it. You can put your knees over it and things. But I actually just sleep with it like round me. All the way around me. And it just keeps me in one place instead of thrashing them all over the bed. Keeps me in a nice little cosy little pod. I'd rather have a sleeping cushion than a man any day. Any day. Oh, I got my letter from the hospital today. As usual, it says I'm willing to do something about my weight. I don't remember saying that. I don't remember saying it. It says I've now got back pain, but they're not doing anything about it. Her profile is acceptable and I would not want to offer her any further surgery on her spine. Management plan. She knows she needs to lose some weight. They are going to get that bit in. Action for your GP. Would you kindly refer this patient for some physiotherapy locally for some core stability exercises? Last time they sent me an appointment, it was like miles away. I couldn't get there. Would you kindly refer this patient to the pain management team locally for their assessment and consideration of caudal epidurals, that's injections in the spine. So my GP will either not read it or he won't do anything about it. Yeah, it says, I'm talking about having another opinion on my right knee because she feels it's never been right since day one, which it hasn't. And would you consider sending her for a second opinion? I will leave it in your hands. Might as well leave it in Dr. Crippin's hands. I don't think my GP reads any of these letters. I really do not. Anyway, I'm glad it's arrived because now I can go to the surgery and say, look, this is it. Have you read it? Because if you haven't, read it now. Because I want my epidural pain relief. And then I can, Manny, I was trying... Do you know what happens every time? The minute I start thinking about even trying to lose some weight. I've been trying to watch what I eat all week. And I've gained 3 pounds. Whenever I think about cutting down, think what I'm eating, I eat more. If I just eat what I feel like it and everything like that, I don't put any weight on. I don't lose any, but I don't put any on. But the minute I start thinking, I better watch what I'm eating. No, don't have that, have this. Stuff like that. And I gained 3 pounds in a week. I'm a hopeless case. I think I need duct tape. With just a little hole so I can drink fluid through a straw. Oh dear. Even this morning I thought, oh, I've got bacon, I'll have some bacon and eggs. And I thought, no I won't, I should be good, I'll have porridge. I might as well have had the bacon and eggs. When I'm not having bacon and eggs and things like that, I don't put 3 pounds on in a week. So this weekend I'm definitely going to have my bacon and eggs. It was a bit tricky this morning though when I wanted to have bacon and eggs because I got no bread. Well, I did have bread. But it was a bit like you could have, used it for a door stopper. It was a bit hard was not the word for it. It was like rock solid. So there wasn't any bread, so that's another reason why I had porridge this morning. And I had soup for my dinner tonight. Not homemade, but it was that homemadey stuff that you buy at the supermarket. Vegetable soup I had for my tea tonight. I am trying to lose weight. Some people would say I am very trying. Anyway, I'm waffling now. It's getting late, getting a bit tired. Can't think of anything else to say to you. So I'm going to waffle off. So have a lovely weekend if I don't speak to you again. And bye from me.